to you.
Yeah, I didn't sign any mustard bottles or golf balls. Maybe wish I had had a golf ball that night, you know what I mean? But I'm only kidding. All right.
Like 99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me? Yes, all right.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 cents for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back. Just wait and you'll see. Please excuse me, your honor, but you can't hold me no longer. Can't you feel the vibrations? I broke out and left traces. Go ahead, try catch me if you can, man. You'll be looking all night, I'm the Sandman. New York, London to Japan. I'ma show the whole world who I am. Boom, boom. Major look, huh? Yeah, this one is for the books. All these chances I took still. I move straight on these rooks now.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. It's the return of the morning show. It's game week, boys. It is game week. I'm excited. We got something to talk about other than recruiting and the transfer portal and people opting out, although we'll talk about that too. We're going to talk about Jeremy Banks. We're going to break down this Orange Bowl game between Tennessee and Clemson. Got Dauber and Xavier in the back waiting to jump on. We're going to break down some football. Going to be a good time. Let's run down the chat, see who is here this morning. It's great to be back on the morning show, man. I missed the morning show. Seek Beloved is in the house. Says, well, I'm waiting, Boogie. I'm waiting. That was at 8:37. Seek Beloved was ready to go live at 8:37. Good to see you in the chat. Brad is in the house. What's up, Brad? Brad's a big part of these morning shows, man. He's the one that kind of poked the bear and said, hey, I need somebody to replace the Swain event in the morning. So, Boogie, why don't you do something? Dance, monkey, dance. Tajon is in the house. What's up, Tajon? Good morning, Talkin VAWLS family. Good to see you here. Big Papa's in the chat. Well, I am here. Good to see you in the chat. Bobby Pilgrim is here. Dave Shoemaker, easy for me to say. Dave Shoemaker's here speculating. Says, what is the big announcement? Timmy Williams is in the house. Joey Carroll's here. Good morning, everyone. Hope all is well. Good to see you in the chat. Captain Woodland is here. Captain Woodland is a Talkin VAWLS OG. Seth is in the house. Good morning, Talkin VAWLS family. Yeah, I hope everybody did have a Merry Christmas. Johnny Freeze also in the house, dropping those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. All you OG Talkin VAWLS fans. Go Vols 1998 says Boogie's announcing that he is leaving for Talkin Tide. Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Let's just get into it, man. I don't even know what I was gonna say. I don't even know how I was gonna get into this. I'm just kind of scrolling through the chat. Kyle's here. Kyle's a Talkin VAWLS OG. JJ Banks is here. Seeing if there's any speculation. You guys already know what the announcement is. It's not even really an announcement. But I just wanted to talk, man. And for those of you coming in wanting to talk football right out of the gate, bear with me. Give me 10 to 15 minutes, and then I promise you we'll talk football. But for you OGs, you guys that have been with us for a minute, we've been doing this thing for probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years at this point. You know, Vols JP came to me. I had a YouTube channel. He said, Boogie, let's do a Tennessee football podcast. And that's what it started as. It was just me, JP Snake, and it was so, not that we're professional now. We're not professional in any way, shape, or form. But back then it was a joke. Like, we just talked. It was audio. We uploaded it, and that was it. We didn't think about it again. We didn't, occasionally check the comments. There was maybe Cody Branch. Cody Branch is in the chat now. Maybe Cody Branch left a comment. Maybe Tim Bradley left a comment. That was about it. Like, it was just a small little ragtag group. I never in a million years thought it would become what it is today with 20,000 subscribers. So many people, this huge community that we built. Rolly season for 2. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Seek Beloved becomes a member of the channel. Thank you for that. So you guys know the deal, man. 7 to 8 years we've been on this grind, and I'm just going to be honest, man. I'm just going to talk to you guys for 10 or 15 minutes. Most of you know the story. A couple of years ago, I told my wife, I said, I think this thing is on the potential of breaking out and being something special. But you're going to have to be patient when I'm at the dinner table and I say, hey, I got to go make a video. The kid just committed, or news just broke. Somebody's leaving, coaching change, whatever the case may be. You got to be patient with me because I'm going to make sacrifices to get to where we're at. And then there was somewhere in the middle of that, the Indy kid decided to step away. He said, I've got a big change coming in my life. I don't have time to do this. That's the thing about this whole thing, too. This whole channel. Like, so many people speculate when JP left. Oh, Boogie hates JP. Boogie and JP had a big falling out. Same thing when Indy kid left. That's not like what you see on air is not always what goes on behind the scenes. But somewhere in that transition, within that 2 years, Indy kid decided to step away. And I talked to Dauber. I said, here's the deal, man. I said, this thing can take off. I said, but I'm running it like my channel. And that doesn't mean that I don't need you or don't want you around. I need you. I want you to be a part of this. But I can't have conversations of when can everybody go live. Sometimes I just need to go live. Sometimes I just need to make a video. Just give me that freedom to run this thing like it's mine, and you be the vice president. Speaking of, new merch drop coming soon for president, vice president 2024. But regardless, Dauber and I had that conversation, and Dauber's like, dude, go get it. I'm just happy to be a part of this thing. And the more we grind, the more work we do, the bigger this thing gets. And you guys know I keep talking about, I want to do this full time. I want this to be my job. And I had the benefit. Some of you were already speculating over the last several months. Boogie's all of a sudden doing morning streams. Like, Boogie's showing up Monday morning, Friday morning. Like, does Boogie work anymore? What's going on? Well, I had the opportunity to take a leave of absence from work. And I was off for 18 months. Not 18 months, 18 weeks. Some of you knew this. I talked about this post NCAA stream one night. We get real on NCAA streams. So I had 18 weeks off from work, and I was able to really focus on Talkin VAWLS. That's where I built the relationship with Eric Kane. That's where I built the relationship with Ben McKee. I went on with the A to Z Sports Guy. I was able to focus on this as a job. So after that leave of absence, I go back to work. The first meeting I have, I sit down for 2 hours, and I hear my boss tell everybody on our team how we're not competent, we don't work hard enough, that her rating as a supervisor wasn't high enough. And she complained. I'm not going to cuss. She said some things that I didn't agree with. I got off the meeting. I went and told my wife. I said, I'm pulling the trigger. It's over. It's done. Talkin VAWLS is officially my career now. So what that means is more content, more live streams. We added membership tiers to do watch parties once a month. That's crucial, and not to shill and beg for money and all that stuff, but that is part of it. That's part of it. That's why I talk so much about memberships, because I had a goal in mind for memberships. Because when December hits and it's no longer hot and sexy to be on here doing post-game shows with 1,000 people watching, that's the easy part. It's easy to get on here and do a post-game show, and there's 1,000 people, and super chats are flying, and bills are easy to pay. But when January rolls around and everybody that had a membership during the season kind of drops that membership, that's when things get scary, man. And that's where I am at. Yes, it's scary, man. It is scary, but it took that leap of faith. And again, a conversation with my wife. This is what we're going to do. We're sure we're going to do it. Let's just go. Let's go. And I trust and believe that this community is going to stand behind us. John Hill for 10. Thank you for Super Chat, buddy. John Hill says, here's something for you. Appreciate that, John. You always here to support the channel. We appreciate it, buddy. It is scary. It's risky. It's YouTube, man. It's YouTube. And my income now depends on your income. Are you financially stable where you can drop a super chat, where you can be a member of the channel? And that's why, we talk about 99 cents a month, just 99 cents a month. If we can get those memberships up, I feel confident. But regardless, this is it. We're rolling. We're rolling full-time, Talkin VAWLS, recruiting coverage coming all throughout the offseason. Again, the watch party. Right now, John's the only member of that tier. Watch party enthusiast. We're gonna watch baseball games, basketball games. We're gonna watch, old school '98 national championship, old school SEC championships, all kinds of fun stuff. We're gonna tune in. We're gonna watch that with you guys, the watch party enthusiasts. So if you have the opportunity to join that channel, do it. We're gonna come up with more fun ways to get you guys involved, because here's the reality. Here's the reality. Right now we're good. People are coming. Isn't that what Dion says? We coming. We coming. That's what Dion keeps telling people. Look, they're coming. I already see it. I see people that are just like me, sitting in their basement with the same setup, doing the same thing. And there's two sides to that story. Number one, imitation is the biggest form of flattery. Number two, that's a challenge to me, because I can sit here and beg and shill and ask you guys for money, but if I'm not giving you the content that you want, then guess what? It doesn't matter. It's up to me. It's up to me to keep you satisfied. It's up to me to keep you happy. Toy Orangutan becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. Let's get a membership drive going so Boogie isn't as nervous and anxious as he is right now. Stevie J for $100. That ain't cheap. You drop $100 super chat. You know what we got to do. We got to play the clip. We got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Stevie J for $100. I got to update the leaderboard. I'll update the leaderboard right here live on air. You guys know. You guys already know. I can update the leaderboard and talk to myself. I promise we're going to talk football here in just a second. I just wanted to, like I said, the biggest part of this, Stevie J, $100. Congratulations, brother. Big step. We are here. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I just want to be honest with you guys. And those of you that were on the NCAA stream, that were hanging out on the NCAA stream, and I played the outro music, and then I came back, and there was like 15 people watching. And I basically told you guys what was coming. I told you this is what I wanted to do. I told you basically this is what was going to happen. And Papa T, good to see you in the chat, buddy. I had a conversation with Papa T last week, told him everything that was going on. It was just this crossroads. I talked to Gabe about this a little bit too, where we had put an offer on a house, and this is the direction we were going, this big dream house. This is what we wanted. And then it's like, maybe God wants us to go this direction instead of being not greedy. There's nothing wrong with earning your money and buying a house. All that's great. There's also something to be said for mental health, and when you're taking abuse, working the 9 to 5 for the man. And that's where I felt like I was at, man. I felt like this pressure on my chest, like the weight of the world. And you guys, there's 238 people watching. You guys give me the opportunity to come on here and do this. And it's amazing. Like, it's not lost. I'm beyond blessed that you guys enjoy what we do on this channel. Like, it is humbling. It blows my mind that I have the opportunity. Now, I can say it. I can say that my career is talking Tennessee football on the internet with you guys. And it's absolutely amazing. So we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And that was a whole lot of me, and where I was at in this whole situation and drama. But the reality is, this channel is bigger than me, man. This channel has become a huge community. And obviously, Dauber's been right there beside me the whole time. But then growing, man, and Xavier, who's going to come on here in just a second. Gabe, who comes on here regularly. Coach Jay is a guy that you guys want to see on here, and we're going to be breaking down film. And when I say we, that means Coach Jay. I'm going to listen to Coach Jay break down film. I'm excited about what we're building, but it's onward and upward, man. We're going into the grind of the offseason. I need you guys to ride with me. If you can't afford to be a member, do it. 99 cents a month. Just hit the join button down below. Elijah Moore becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. We appreciate that support. That gets us through the off season. So many of those memberships tank, around this time of year. So we appreciate you that are able to afford it and ride with us. Adam Huckabee becomes a member of the channel as well. Rolly Season for $5. We hungry. Boogie pockets ain't empty. Cut. Appreciate that, Rolly Season. I appreciate the super chat. Doug Spencer. Doug drops a $2 super chat, but he puts $9.99. I think he was trying to change the dollar amount. Either way, Doug. Doug's been around here for a while too. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. Randy Wire for 10. Appreciate that. Just a tip in the tip jar. Nothing to say. We appreciate that, Randy. Thank you for the donation. All right. Let's see. I think we're caught up on Super Chats. We're caught up on membership. So just to summarize, to recap, I'm doing this thing full time. We appreciate the support. Cannot do it without you. We'll continue to grind with you guys. But let's see here. We got another Super Chat coming in, and then I'll get these guys on here. Thomas Coburn Jr. for $10. Appreciate that, Thomas. Thank you for the Super Chat. Let's get Diver and the X Factor on here. Let's talk a little football. Let's talk a little Orange Bowl. We do have 230-some people watching live. Make sure you guys do smash the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy. If you can't be a member, smash the thumbs up. Diver, you're even though Xavier is my wingman, you are really my wingman. We're in this thing together. We're the only OGs left. You can, if anything you want to say before, and we'll move on and talk football.
Man, I just want to say how proud I am of you and where this is taking you. You've talked about this for a while, being something that you'd like to do, wondering if you could, and just the growth that we've seen the last couple of years, and the grind that you've put in, man. I'm super proud of you, brother. This is a pretty cool thing to be a part of. And I know it's a little cooler being kind of behind the scenes. This is a pretty amazing community. It's a lot of fun to be able to contribute just a little bit to what we got going here. I wish you nothing but the best.
X Factor, you're my wingman too, buddy.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, like what Dauber said, man, I just wanted to, congratulate you because, ever since when I first stumbled onto your channel, I was just, and you was talking about you wanted to go full time. And I was just like, man, I was like, if he does really, really well and blows up with success, this channel is going to be a big special thing. And also, I just wanted to thank you for allowing me to come onto this platform to not also have a voice to talk about Tennessee football, but just to, like I said, be behind the scenes and to interact with you and Dauber and Gabe and Coach Jay and, all these other guys and stuff. It's a really, blessed and humble experience for me. And I just wanted to thank you a lot for it. So, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. Like I said, I hope to cover, especially for you guys, if we want to watch basketball and bring more coverage to you, like I said, just show up, show out, show Boogie some love here. Cause like you said, he's doing this full time now. So, but, I'm just blessed to be here and happy for you, man.
That's what Xavier just said is so true. If you want basketball coverage, show up. That's it. Because the last basketball show we did, it was not very successful. And when this becomes career, and, I've had this conversation on there before, I can play NCAA football and goof off for 2 hours, and financially that is better for this channel, for me, for my family, versus doing a basketball post game and not making any money. So that's just the reality of it. The time is there. The time is, I've got the time and availability. We can cover basketball, we can cover baseball, but we have to do what financially makes sense. Seek Beloved says, is Boogie about to cry? No way, man. No way. I'm ready to onward and upward. Let me tell you that. Not to get aggressive and come at people, but like I said, they coming, boys. They coming. They're coming for this channel. And it's not just people like us. It's the media. It's the mainstream media seeing what we do right here, and they are changing the way they do things. They thought it was the 1980s, and they were chasing newspaper stories till they showed up on the Talkin VAWLS network and said, whoa, hold on a second. These people in the crowd actually donate money? Yeah, because they're part of the show. They're part of the show. The mainstream media is coming, and all I can say in the words of The Rock, bring it, bring it, bring it. We got to keep doing what we do and keeping you guys happy. But let's talk some football. Joey Carroll for $5 says entry fee. Congratulations, Boogie. Yeah. Well, who's supposed to be working the door? You guys are supposed to be taking the cover charge, and they missed it. Thank you, Joey, for the $5. We appreciate it. Connor Jewett becomes a member of the channel. Thank you for that. Zero with 60 FPS becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate you guys. That's a Talkin VAWLS Elite and a Talkin VAWLS Emoji Access. John Anthony Warren becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. Talkin VAWLS Faithful. You guys are really, when I make this statement, keeping the lights on, you're really keeping the lights on, because that's what we're talking about now, is paying the power bill. So we appreciate that. Thank you. Anybody that can afford the memberships, we appreciate you doing that. Thank you, drummer Converse. Stoked for you, brother. Keep making it happen. We're going to keep grinding. We got no choice but to keep grinding. Let's talk some football. Let's talk some news. This came out Christmas Eve, conveniently. Christmas Eve, when everybody's spending time with their families, when everybody is waiting on Santa to come. The news comes out that Tennessee linebacker Jeremy Banks opts out. It goes on. It's got the message here. Let me scroll down. We'll take a look at it, at what Jeremy Banks had to say. First, let me thank God for giving me the ability to play the game I love at the highest level and continuing to guide me. It's been a true honor to join my brothers in battle at Neyland Stadium while playing for the best fans in college football. I'd like to thank Coach Heupel and Coach Pruitt, along with their respective staff members who have taught and led me throughout my time at the University of Tennessee. Thank you for making these past 5 years some of the best moments in my life, It says, after many prayers, I've decided to begin preparing for the NFL draft and will forgo the upcoming Orange Bowl. I'm excited to go work in this next chapter and so thankful to be a Tennessee Volunteer for life. Dauber, what do you think when you read that and when you see that?
It's hard to say. You know, we've talked multiple times about these opt-outs and about not finishing out what you started. I don't know. In this case, it may just be the best thing for this team as a whole. With the things that we know that went down before the South Carolina game, and all the turmoil and conflict that seemed to be in the locker room, brought about by Mr. Banks. I think that maybe him stepping out of the picture, the team can focus, because if there was anything different in the South Carolina game, I think it was a lack of focus. That there was something else going on, and I think the three of us here right now have all, rallied behind and supported this kid. We're all for a second chance, and I don't ever want to see anybody miss out opportunities because of a mistake. But at some point, you do have to, as a coaching staff, as Heupel and the rest of his coaches, they have to look out for the rest of the guys on the team that are putting in work too. So I hate it. I think it is going to be he is going to be missed on the field. But I think that, you just talked about mental health. I think the mental health of the team is better without him.
Thomas, hold on a second, Xavier. Thomas Coburn Jr. says, I need to know, how do I become a member of this channel? I'm glad you asked, Thomas. There is a join button down below, right beside subscribe. It says join. You click that little button, it'll take you into join. Now, if you have an iPhone, it won't have a join button. What you have to do is you have to go to an internet browser, and then you sign into your YouTube account. The join button will magically appear. Then when you come back to the app, you're good to go. There's also a link in the description below, Thomas, if you want to join that way. Several different tiers, fun things. You get access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. There's a tier to be access for fan call-in shows, a new tier for the watch party. There's a secret tier that's to be Boogie's boss. All that means is you want to donate more money, and you guys wanted me to do this full time, so now you're my boss, because I have to answer to you. So Xavier, I know Jeremy Banks was your boy. He was your guy. You're a big Jeremy Banks fan. What do you think when you see this?
To be honest, does it really surprise me that, he's going to opt out? Not really, because like what Dauber just said, because of the incident what happened with South Carolina, it didn't really surprise me at all that he was just going to opt out. But like I said, I love the kid. I wish him all the success. I wish him all the wealth and everything else. But yeah, as far as like Dauber was saying, as far as like the mental health for the team wise, I think it is the best thing for it. And I think I mentioned it in one of the previous shows before, but even, moving forward with, these big studs we got coming in the class of 2023, you kind of just want to just remove that kind of cancer from the locker room. and bring in a new, fresh start on the defensive side of the ball because, because like I said, they're saying that Jeremy Banks has just been a troublemaker all season. That's the reason why, I feel like we haven't been seeing him too much in, like, the media as much as far as, like, talking about games and everything else is because we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, like after in the locker room or in, like, post-game coverages and stuff like that. But, I just wish the kid well. Like I said, he's always got my love and my support. I just hope one thing that when he does go off to the NFL is that I hope that his ego or whatever kind of personal problem that he has, I hope he changes it for the best. And once he does that, I mean, he'll have a lot of success in the NFL, tons of it.
I hope he does because I think he's the type of guy that needs to have that success. I think he needs football in his life. And Dauber mentioned second chances, and I just think he's the guy that needs it. But let me take a different spin at this one. I didn't know if you guys would talk about it or where you would go when you talk about Jeremy Banks and opting out. I don't think he opted out. I think he is being told to sit out because all the rumors, everything indicates that Jeremy Banks allegedly was not academically eligible. Apparently, he was not going to class. Again, that's allegedly. There's nothing out there that is fact about that. It's just what everything appears to be. Nothing was surprising about this. The rumblings on the message boards was that Banks was not going to play regardless. But to this coaching staff, they have protected Jeremy Banks his entire career. Josh Heupel, everything that went down the week of the South Carolina game, that leaked through players and through media. But Josh Heupel, this coaching staff, protected Jeremy Banks. There's a reason Jeremy Banks has not met with the media. This coaching staff has put a bubble around him and protected him to try to take care of Jeremy Banks. And this is one last thing on the way out the door to protect him and save face from, because I saw some people saying, well, he walked at graduation. Well, you can walk at graduation and still have work to do. And I don't think Jeremy Banks is going to come back next semester and do that work. I think he's going to be off to the NFL making millions of dollars. And again, best of luck to him. But there's something to say for this coaching staff, protecting him and letting him go out with his head held high. Mm-hmm. Dauber, did I cut? You were going to say something. Anything important, or are we going to move on?
No, we're good to move on. I was reading the chat. Sorry.
All right, let me catch up on some super chats here. Stevie J for 20. That ain't cheap. Says, okay, come on. Let's not be donating. Dauber's not paying the light bill with this super chat. But for Dauber's Magnum PI Mustache, go Vols. Thank you, Stevie J. Appreciate that. Ralph Keith for $50. Wait a second, $50. $50 ain't cheap. You drop 50 spot, you got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Ralph says, congratulations, Boogie, on making your dream come true. Come on, Vol Nation, let's back Boogie. He and his team do a great job. Let's keep this thing going. Smash that like button. Open the wallet, team, and help. GBO, thank you, Ralph. Very, very generous, man. And I say this all the time. If you can afford, we appreciate it. If you can afford, we appreciate the memberships, the super chats. If you can't, hit the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy. You're still a welcome part of this community. Don't think just because you don't drop a super chat that you're not welcome here. No. If you don't have the money, hit the thumbs up, leave comments. We love to engage. I will even say this. Typically Sunday nights, we're doing it tonight. Makeup stream tonight, NCAA football. If you want to talk football with me, show up on Sunday nights or show up tonight. There's like 42 people in the chat. All I do is read the chat all night long. If you want to engage and interact, that's the place to do it. And you don't have to worry about dropping a $50 super chat. But we appreciate that, Ralph. Very, very generous. Seth, I know Seth's already a member. What are you doing, Seth? Seth must be upgrading his membership. Upgraded to Watch Party Enthusiast. So we're going to do a watch party in January, probably a basketball game. And as of now, John Hill and Seth, I think, are the only two people that are going to be able to come on. So it should be a good time. Regardless of who comes on, it'll be me, Xavier, Dauber, Gabe, Snake, JP, whoever wants to come on will be here, and then we'll get some of you guys in the Watch Party Enthusiast tier. Gary Davis becomes a member. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that support. Sean Hall also becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, guys. That's we appreciate those memberships. That's where it's at. That's what gives me the confidence to pull the trigger and do this thing. We're going to talk about the Orange Bowl, but I want to show this. You guys may have seen this on Twitter. Let me screen share real quick. Somebody tweeted this out. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
No.
When I saw this, so this little kid, you can see tagged up At Jalen Hyde, hope you see this. Found this on Facebook. This little man needs to meet you. Jalen Hyde, quote, tweets it. Love it. Somebody find me his parents' info. I got a gift for him. And so apparently Jalen Hyde's already been in touch with this kid's parents, and I don't know what the arrangement. I don't know if he's going to give him an autograph, come meet him. I don't know. But when I saw this, the reason I loved it, number one, it shows you how much Jalen Hyde means to this kid. But it reminds me of something me and Dauber talk about all the time with the kids, the young kids that are not Tennessee fans, right? They're wearing Clemson stuff, Alabama stuff, Ohio State stuff. It's been a minute since we've seen a kid this age care this much about Tennessee football.
What?
That's me after the Alabama game. Dauber, what do you think when you see that little man open up an autographed Jalen Hyde picture and have that reaction?
Oh man, I loved it. I actually I don't know if it's the same thread, but both Jalen's parents, his mom and dad, commented on it and said, "Hey, listen, we've already been in contact with the kid's parents. We got something worked out." And it shows you, just how good of a young man Jalen Hyde is. What a good family he comes from, and it also shows you, how Tennessee has shifted, like you just said. You got kids that are fired up. Some don't have the luxury of having a parent like me that forces orange upon their kids.
No choice. No choice.
I know that all of mine opened up a gift or two yesterday. That was a sweatshirt with a power tee on it, an orange hat, something.
Meanwhile, my daughter opened an App State sweatshirt.
Tried to get them the Squishmallow, the smoky Squishmallow that the bookstore dropped in a tweet, and I guess I waited too late because those things sold out, man, and you can't find them anywhere. But no, I love it. I love to see stuff like that. I saw a kid opening up a package, and his parents got him Orange Bowl tickets, and he was like, "Let's freaking go!"
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome to see that next generation, because it does take a little bit of success on the field to get you reeled in. But man, I tell you, once I got bit by it, man, there's nothing else like it. So
yeah, so just seeing that kid is open that present, I just got like a little bit, goosebumps from opening it because like what Dauber said, man, because both of you guys know we live like in a region in East Tennessee to where you see Alabama fans, you see Clemson fans, Virginia Tech, and Georgia, just the big, powerhouse SEC teams, but now that also what Dauber said too, now that we're seeing this so much success and how this season was so successful for our program is that you're starting to see more Tennessee gear starting to come out because it's like just like after that Alabama game, I seen just a lot of Tennessee gear, people wearing it that I've ever seen ever. But and also too, from that kid opening that present, it reminded me of a couple seasons ago because remember about the kid in Florida where he actually made a U T-shirt. Well, he drew it on a piece of paper. It was like U and T, and he got made fun of at school. And then the University of Tennessee saw that, and they actually printed out like a T-shirt that he made on that piece of paper, and they actually sent it to him. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what the exact story was, but that shirt sold like hotcakes.
Oh yeah. Because and that it's just seeing stuff like that also shows how our program rolls. Is that like I said, it just shows that if you show love and show out to the University of Tennessee is that they're gonna repay the favor. So.
Which, that's perfect lead into our charity stream that's coming up in January. Haven't ironed out the exact date yet, but I'm thinking maybe right before the national championship. Maybe a couple of nights before the national championship. We do a live stream. I have no idea how long it's going to go. I'm going to stretch it out as long as possible because the longer we go, the more money we're going to make for the charity. We got to figure out what charity, and it's all going to go through YouTube, so they get zero. They take 0% of the money. Super chats, ad revenue, everything will go to the charity of our choice. I've confirmed Ben McKee's going to come on. Eric Kane's going to come on. The guys over at A to Z Sports are going to come on. And then I don't know how. Maybe we rotate just the cast of characters. Maybe Dauber comes on. Maybe Xavier comes on for a little bit. I don't know. We'll figure out how to do it to lengthen this thing out to make as much money for charity as possible. So stay tuned for that. Papa T with a $20 super chat. That ain't cheap. Papa T says, congratulations, Boogie. We believe in you and your dream. Now, I agree with the Jay Banks insight. We should have known he was gone when they brought in the BYU linebacker, an experienced linebacker with integrity to mold the freshman linebackers. Yeah, that's a good. I was going to talk about the transfer portal coming up a little bit later, but that's a good transition. We can dive into that now. I think that Keenan Peely from BYU, I think he's a great addition. We talked about it a little bit the last live stream we were on together, Dauber and I. Just a veteran guy, mature. He went on the mission field, so he was, he's even, a couple of years older than he should be. Just an experienced dude, team captain. He's got a little bit of edginess to him, but he seems dialed in, controlled. I saw some people sharing clips of him getting up in people's faces, pushing people around. Good size. Can he do it in the SEC? We'll find out. But let's talk about the transfer portal because as of now, Tennessee's added the linebacker from BYU, Keenan Peely. They added Andre Carrick, the offensive tackle from Texas, Charles Campbell, kicker from Indiana, McAllen Castles, a tight end from UC Davis. So they've added 4 guys, couple of positions of need. I don't know if they struck out at the wide receiver position. I put out a portal update, I think, on Christmas Eve talking about this. You had the kid from Kent State, Devontae Walker. You had Dominic Lovett from Missouri, who was a really good wide receiver. Rob Thomas, all off the board. But they're making Dante Thornton a priority. And I like this kid, 6'5", 200 pounds at Oregon. Perfect frame to be on the outside at Tennessee. But what do you think so far, Dauber? Transfer portal, still got a ways to go to in January.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that they've whiffed on a couple guys that they were pretty interested in, but you're still going to see guys exiting. I think after spring ball, there'll be another influx of guys looking for somewhere else, and it's that's the thing with these teams like Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia. Everybody wants to go there because they're successful, but when they get there and they're, number 4, number 5 on the chart behind a bunch of guys, and they're not going to see the field, that's the type of guy that they're not going to stick around. So that's the way the landscape of college football is now. And I think Tennessee will be fine. I think they'll be able to fill that spot, the wide receiver spot, pretty easily because that's the thing I've said all along. As an offensive skill position, why would you not want to come to Tennessee? If you look at the numbers they've put up for the last 2 years, you look at what this offensive scheme was able to do for Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt this year. Put them in a position to have them talked about for the Heisman, really should have been invited to New York at a minimum, and then have Jalen Hyatt win the Biletnikoff Award as the best wide receiver in college football. It just shows if you get in the system and execute, I think you'll find success. And nothing against Hendon Hooker or Jalen Hyatt. I think that it was no doubt their talent had.
It's the scheme, Dauber. You can say it. It's the scheme. You can say it.
I don't want to say that's all it was, because it takes the execution as well. And without the execution, the scheme is nothing. But it had a lot to do with it. They were put in favorable matchups. You look at Jalen Hyatt's touchdowns. How many of them were he? Nobody within 5 yards of him because he schemed wide open. But he's still got to catch the ball. He's still got to have somebody throw him the ball to where he can catch it.
That's the big key that we're going to get into here in just a second. You got to have a quarterback that can put the ball on him.
Yeah. Well, and that was just, even when we was talking about, in the preseason, like when Cedric Tillman was healthy, because we seen the success that Hendon Hooker had with Cedric Tillman, and we was like, okay, there's your 1-2 punch right there. And then down goes Cedric Tillman, which, like I said, again, is a bad thing. But it was also a good thing because it blossomed into Hendon Hooker having that connection with Jalen Hyatt. And you see the results of what happened this season. So, but yeah, then also going back to, just players just opting out. I mean, perfect examples like, because I saw a couple of days ago, just look at Alabama. You know what I'm saying? They got some 4 or 5-star guys that are transferring out going to TCU, which is kind of odd in my opinion. But like what you said, Dauber, is they don't get a chance to see the field. So it's like you want to, keep that momentum going and just say like, hey, look, come to Tennessee, and if you put in the work, then you're going to see the field. So, and then I just think too that, yeah, with this scheme that we got going on here at Tennessee, especially for the wide receivers, is like you look at the success we had this season, and why would you not want to come here? And especially after when Joe Milton goes after this season, then you got in Nico, which I know you're not a big Nico fan, but anyway. But even when Nico coming in though, you got to admit he's a 5-star quarterback coming in to play for us in the class of 24. Why would you not want to come play with that guy? Especially you see his talent on film. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's just the success is just there. So we just got to just be patient, not pulling the trigger too heavily on the portal. We just got to just stay patient and just see what big fish comes our way.
Sometimes I wonder how much of it is NIL. And that's not me saying, it's just because of NIL. But it's very interesting that 2 of the 4 wide receivers on Tennessee's board in the portal, Ra Thomas and Dominic Lovett, are both going to Georgia. You're taking 2 wide receivers out of the portal, and Dauber brought the point up earlier. Are they even going to be able to see the field? Are they going to be able to get on the field? But it does raise the question of how much of it is NIL. And again, going back to this offense. Yeah, this offense in the wide receiver position. If Carnell Tate wants a bunch of money, why would Josh Heupel or Spire Sports Group commit X amount of money to a guy like Carnell Tate when you can scheme open a guy like Cedric Tillman? Now, again, no disrespect to Cedric Tillman. How good is Cedric Tillman in, Georgia's offense? Is he a 1,000-yard receiver in Georgia's offense? I don't know that he is, but he was in Josh Heupel's offense last year. So you got to prioritize your NIL money. And again, I'm speaking somewhat from stuff I've been told and somewhat from ignorance. And that's the beauty of it because we don't know. So how much of this is NIL based? How much of it is I want to go win a national championship and I think Georgia's a step ahead of Tennessee? There's so many layers and complications that go into recruiting and the transfer portal both. But coming full circle to what Dauber said, now I'm walking on eggshells because you don't want to disrespect the players that had success in it, right? But at the same time, what happens when you take a 4-star in Hendon Hooker and upgrade to a legitimate 5-star? If Nico pans out, we hope he does. And then what happens when you take, what was Jalen Hyatt, 3-star, 4-star, and you upgrade that to a 5-star wide receiver? What happens when you start getting those guys in place in this offense? How in the world do you stop it at that point? That's what's going to be exciting to watch. And on top of that, I get excited seeing the class of 23 being so defensive heavy. And if they can play, you don't got to be elite. You just got to be able to get some stops and let this offense go do what it does. And Josh Heupel is going to be difficult to stop for the SEC.
And that's the thing. We talked about it so much this year. The defense wasn't elite. There were times the defense wasn't good. And this team won 10 games. It's you do look at this year's recruiting class and the heaviness of the defensive side of the ball. I think that's because this coaching staff keyed in on, hey, listen, we can win, but we need a better defense to win at the level that we want to win at. So I do like where this staff focused with their recruiting. And who's to say that like Boogie was talking about NIL? Who's to say they didn't kind of come together and be like, hey, listen, this is what we want to focus on. We don't need a Carnell Tate. We don't need to pay him $4 million to come here when we can get somebody to have success in the program. This is the SEC. We all know it's big boy football. You got to have a good defensive front. You got to have a good offensive line. That's a mainstay. So it did the one kid that I was kind of bummed we missed out on was Malagoa. I thought that would have been a great, but it's always a gamble. You don't know if these kids are going to pan out, and that's what I'm interested to see about this whole NIL deal. You look at Texas A&M and them spending, what was it, $31 million or something on last year's number one recruiting class,
and it was a flop.
How many of those kids are exiting the program? How many of them were in trouble? And you look at Jimbo Fisher sitting on the hot seat down there at College Station. It's going to be interesting to see how the whole of college football shapes up with NIL. The problems that it could cause in the locker room. I mean, it's very interesting. I just hope that for all of our sakes as Tennessee fans, that Josh Heupel has the locker room in a shape that there's not conflict when Nico gets in there and gets rolling, that there's not jealousy and envy and all of that.
Well, I think looking at him telling Jeremy Banks to stay home, that shows the type of leadership Josh Heupel has. And people can say, well, Tennessee lost to South Carolina because of that, but you cut it off. You didn't let it get out of control, which was Butch Jones' problem. He let the inmates run the asylum, and Josh Heupel's not doing that. So if it cost you the South Carolina game, guess what? You made a statement to everybody else in that locker room that nobody is bigger than the Power T and nobody's bigger than this football team.
Yeah.
Right. Facts.
We got 310 people watching live right now. We're going to dive into the Orange Bowl here in just a second. Do us a favor, smash the thumbs up. We would appreciate that. It helps drive the algorithm of YouTube, all that numbers game, so we would appreciate you guys doing that. Also, you can go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You can pick up that scoreboard shirt. Go pick yourself something up for Christmas and just say it's a late Christmas present. Just lie. Just make something up. Whatever you guys want to do. Buy yourself a New Year's Day present. Buy yourself love yourself. Self-love is important. Buy yourself a Valentine's Day present at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We appreciate you guys repping the merch. I've been saying in the last few videos, I want to see you guys repping the merch. If you got Talkin VAWLS merch, put it on, take a picture, tweet it out, tag us up on
a couple
Twitter.
Pictures yesterday.
Yeah, so a couple in the Facebook group, man. I asked my daughter, I said, if a listener is buying our merch and getting it for Christmas, have we officially made it? She said, I don't know, I don't care. But to make it even better, one of her friends got the Bama scoreboard shirt for Christmas. Her dad bought her the scoreboard shirt. So how about that? She was texting it to my daughter, and I was like, man, proud papa moment right there. When your kids' friends want to rep your merchandise, we've made it, boys. We've made it. All right, let's talk about the Orange Bowl. Here's a perfect launching pad. Connor for 5. Thank you for the super chat. With our key players like Hooker, Hyatt, and Banks out of the game, do we have enough talent left to beat Clemson? Now, something that I thought was interesting, I pulled up the ESPN game tracker. The line has shifted. It was 6.5. Now Clemson favored by 5.5, so it came down a little bit. That's what you got to remember. Yes, Tennessee's got Hooker, Hyatt, Banks out. Cedric Tillman's out. Clemson's got some opt-outs too. But Xavier, what do you think about that when we're quarterbacks down, leading wide receivers down, arguably the leader of the defense is down? How much does that impact you going into this Orange Bowl coming up on Friday?
Yeah, it's going to impact you a lot. But we just got to have faith in Joe Milton and these receivers coming up for the next class. We got to just rely on just Squirrel White, Ramel Keaton, and just Brew. We just got to just rely on and Joe. Just got to rely on those guys just to go out and just make plays. And then as far as like on the defensive side of the ball, with Jeremy Banks being out, like Dauber says, that he will definitely be missed, and you can definitely see it on the field because we saw it at the South Carolina game. So yeah, it definitely shakes things up a bit. I don't know as far as like players, opting out on Clemson's side. Like I don't know like who's their best players on the side on their team, but kind of like also in a way, I want to kind of call this game a toss up in a way, just because of like what you said, Boog. Like I mean, we have a bunch of players opting out, a bunch of players not playing. So I'm starting to kind of look at this as a toss up game. But now, will I think we will win this game? Yes, I believe so, because I believe that Clemson cannot keep up with our fast paced offense. So
Trying to find the names of Clemson had a couple of NFL draft picks that opted out. I'm trying to pull it up here and find it. Let's see. Clemson will be without future first-round pick Miles Murphy, along with linebacker Trenton Simpson. They've also got, obviously their quarterback's gone, but they got the freshman going to be taking over, and he looked good in the ACC championship game. But they got a couple of draft picks out. They got some big-time players. It's not like it's just a bunch of no-names that have entered the transfer portal, so it'll be interesting. Dauber, what do you think with the opt-outs going into the Orange Bowl?
I think that it's going to be a tight game. I keep going back and forth. I don't believe I picked Tennessee in any game to lose this year. And it's tearing at me. Cause I don't know that they win this one. I think offensively there is going to be a step back. You're missing a lot of firepower. You're missing the captain of the ship. I do think Joe can have success, and I do think there's still a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. But defensively, that's been a problem all year. For Tennessee to win this game, the offense has to be clicking, because if the offense isn't clicking, I don't think the defense can do enough. And that's my thought. That's you saw that in the South Carolina game. This team got behind and they were chasing, and even with Hendon Hooker, because he played most of the game. He got hurt in the second half, right? At South Carolina.
Yeah.
They were chasing with Hendon Hooker at quarterback, and couldn't do anything. He was off that night. He was throwing some stuff high. I don't think this team is built to be behind. That's something that I've noticed. But I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking about it. I guess by our Wednesday midweek show, I'll have my prediction ready to go. But
I think there's a lot of pressure on the defensive line.
Yeah.
With Banks being out, I think they have, if they're going to have any shot, they've got to get pressure. But the whole game, you guys already said it. I'm not saying anything you didn't say. Whole game comes down to Joe Milton. Like if Hendon Hooker was starting, I'd be like, all right, we'll outscore him. It's gonna be a shootout. Tennessee will outscore him. We'll be just fine. But now with Joe, it's like, all right, I love you, Joe. Which Joe we getting? We getting the Joe that's in mop-up duty and just drops that thing on a dime? We getting the Joe Milton that throws an orange over 100 yards when it's a 30-yard route? Which Joe we getting? Which Joe's going to show up? Because, look, you guys know I love me some Joe Milton. That Vanderbilt game, too many people putting that game on the weather. I would say yes if Joe was typically dialed in on the deep ball. But we've seen that Joe Milton before. So we'll see. We'll see what he looks like.
You talk about that orange. Man, he didn't even grunt. He barely took a crow hop and threw an orange 100 yards.
Yeah, I sent that to Boogie. I was like, have you seen this yet? And then he texted me and he was like, he said, yeah, he said, Gabe sent me this to me. And then, I was just amazed. I was just like, yeah, like you said, Dauber, this kid didn't even grunt. He didn't throw his shoulder out or nothing. He just casually just threw it. 100
It's
yards.
like the Will Levis clip that was going around where they're like, look at him throw this flat-footed, and then you see him take a big, huge step and throw it. No, like this is legitimate Joe just chucking an orange 100 yards like he's standing in the backyard saying, hey, you think I can hit that tree over there? And then just chucks it. He's a freak, man. He is a freak athlete, something special if he can just dial in the accuracy. That is the key, but I think the Orange Bowl comes down to Joe, man. I think it comes down to Joe, and we talk about meaningless bowl games and all that stuff. This is an audition, man. People in the chat arguing back and forth about Taven Jackson and Nico and who's going to be the second-string quarterback and who's going to come in. Joe makes one bad decision. The Boo Birds are going to come out. We've been blessed since Hendon Hooker took over that this fan base has been united at the quarterback. Like everybody is ride or die with Hendon Hooker. The first time Joe Milton throws an interception, people are going to start booing. They're going to be chanting for Nico. It's going to be a disaster.
You go back to the last starting quarterback.
Yep. Seth says it right after you said it.
It makes the poor quarterback play makes the backup quarterback the sexiest person on the team.
Yep.
Everybody loves a backup when your quarterback's struggling.
I hope Joe gets it dialed in. I think there would be no better redemption story than to see the way Joe supported Hendon right after getting benched and being a great teammate, and even taking Nico under his wing. Man, we saw that in the bowl practices. You love it. Like all he does is lead. He is a leader, whether he's starting, whether he's on the bench, no matter what the circumstances. He's a leader, and I think it would be an amazing story to see him come have some success. Come be the T. Martin to Hendo's Peyton Manning. Let's go win it all. Why not? Maybe that's what Joe says walking off the field. Let's go win a natty.
I hope so.
I mean, that's the parallels to that would that'd be something pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. But also too with Taven Jackson, he's not gonna lie down, man. He's really not, and I want the kid to have success because I know the whole chat was having World War III over here about Taven Jackson disrespecting him. Look, I'm not disrespecting Taven Jackson at all. I'm not, guys, but it's just the reality of the situation. You have Nico over here that's allegedly getting paid $8 million in NIL versus the Joe Milton, which we're all rooting for to be the captain of the ship going into the 23 season. And then you kind of got Taven Jackson over here that's kind of just looking at the competition ahead of him like, well.
But listen, but before we signed Nico, Taven Jackson was the savior. He was the guy coming in. Everybody was excited. They're like, oh, yeah, we got Taven Jackson, 4-star kid.
A video popped up in my YouTube feed the other day that I had made, and it said Josh Heupel's quarterback, and it was a picture of Taven Jackson. He was the man. He was going to be the future of Tennessee football until Nico came in. But that's the beauty. Hey, that's how you build championship teams is you out-recruit every year. You stack those recruiting classes. And the class of 24 is going to be a big one, a huge class for this coaching staff.
I don't care if you're not already looking at on early signing day, on national signing day, if you're not already looking for the next guy to replace the guy you just signed, you're behind.
Mm-hmm. Or somebody that's better than him. Over-recruit him. And just another quick plug for that. Coach Jay and I are going to be doing a video series coming up. Going to get with him hopefully this week and ask when we can record a couple and start putting them out, maybe one a week. We'll see how it plays out. We're going to break down the top 15 to 20 players that are in-state kids in the class of 24. So we'll start right at the top with Caleb Beasley, work our way down. We're going to tell you who they are, where they're at, who's recruiting them, and then we're going to go let Coach Jay break down the tape. I can't wait. We're going to try to keep those videos at 10 minutes. That may be a struggle because Coach Jay's like, well, if you look at his back here, it's arched a little bit too much. His left calf is too back. Like, he gets in-depth. So we'll see if we can get those things to 10 to 15 minutes and then pump them out coming over the next few months. Again, class of 24 is huge. Want to highlight those in-state kids, so that's coming your way. Just a reminder, tomorrow night, actually tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be playing some NCAA football makeup stream for last night, so come hang out. You want to continue this conversation. It's laid back, playing video games, checking out the chat, going back and forth. It's always a blast. Come join me for that. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, fan call-in show. Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The regular midweek show, myself, Dauber, JP will be here. Friday, we're going to do a tailgate show an hour before kickoff, and then we will bring the last post-game show of 2022. What a freaking great ride it's been. I think I looked the other day. We added almost 8,500 subscribers in 2022. Let's freaking do it again in 2023. Let's keep that hustle. Let's keep that grind. Thank you to everybody that became a member. Now that this is the gig, man. No more job, no more yelling at my boss and all that hate. It's all focused on you guys, so I'm looking forward to it. You guys that are the members, you guys are what are making this possible. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support. Smash the thumbs up. Join us tonight, 6:30. We'll be back in just a few hours. But for Dauber, for the X Factor, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange. You guys know the deal. We don't let Super Chats go unread around here. We don't let Super Chats go unread. So this is almost a post-credit scene. Angry Titan for 5 says, my entry fee as the credits are rolling. Merry Christmas, y'all. Thank you, Angry Titan. We appreciate the Super Chat. Merry Christmas to you. For Dauber for the X Factor. My name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Let's see if another Super Chat comes in and we'll drop the intro or outro again. Go Big Orange.